Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis will host round 2 as we start the NCAA Championship second round. It's the Auburn Tigers of the Southeastern Conference against Indiana, the Big Ten. Indiana put away Fairfield. Auburn survived against a tough San Diego team. Later today, we'll have Duke against Xavier here in Indiana. We'll have a crowd of some 34,000 on hand this afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Billy Packer. Thrilled to be here as we start the second round of the NCAA Championship on that road to New Orleans. Billy Packer, we know a lot about Indiana and their great players, Steve Alford, the General Bob Knight. Start off with Auburn. This is a conference noted for great athletes.
Well, it is a conference of athletes, and I think that's today something that we're going to see a tremendous contrast. For Auburn, you've got a guy, Gerald White, who's really the glue to this ball club. A backcourt player who's going to be called upon today to do two very difficult things. Get them in their offense, stay away from Indiana's press, and also do a job possibly on Steve Alford defensively.
This team graduated the great Chuck Pearson, now in the NBA. What do they do down in the hole?
Well, they still have Jeff Moore, and if Auburn's going to play today, they've got to get in the transition game. That means they've got to be tough off the boards. Auburn has had great rebounding, and Jeff Moore's got to be that key.
Well, we talk about the crowd's appreciation of Steve Alford and the other Hoosiers, but you think a couple other guys are the keys today.
I really do. I think Bobby Knight's changed to say, hey, I've got to have athletes if I'm going to win another championship. And you're going to see what it means to have a home crowd advantage right now, Brent.
At the Hoosier Dome, still on their feet, and they await the arrival of the Emperor. Bob Knight is superstitious. He never comes out to watch the shoot-around. He will be the last man out of the locker room, and when he comes, it'll be hail to the chief, and we'll be right back.
CBS Sports presents the NCAA Basketball Championship. Today's second-round game from Indianapolis is sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. Mass Mutual, we insure more than lives, we insure success. And by John Deere and your local John Deere dealer.
Bob Knight is a controversial figure in some quarters, but not here in the Hoosier Dome this afternoon. The Emperor has arrived. And as one other coach said, when he steps onto this floor, it's like, hail to the chief, and here's Johnny, all wrapped up in one. Now let's meet the starting lineups. Here's the PA announcer, Reb Porter.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hoosier Dome for this afternoon's Midwest region second round game between the Auburn University Tigers and the Indiana University Hoosiers. Now let's meet the starting lineups. For Auburn, at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Columbus, Georgia, number 13, Mike Jones. For Indiana, at forward, a 6'6" sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 20, Rick Calloway. For Auburn, at forward, a 6'8" junior from Atlanta, Georgia, number 34, Chris Morris. For Indiana, at forward, a 6'7" senior from Westchester, Illinois, number 24, Darrell Thomas. For Auburn, at center, a 6'7" junior from Birmingham, Alabama, number 40, Jeff Moore. For Indiana, at center, a 6'10" junior from San Clemente, California, number 22, Dean Garrett. For Auburn, at guard, a 6'1" senior from Augusta, Georgia, number 12, Gerald White. For Indiana, at guard, a 6'2" senior from Newcastle, Indiana, number 12, Steve Alford. For Auburn, at guard, a 6'4" senior from Kissimmee, Florida, number 15, Frank Ford. For Indiana at guard, a 6'1" junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, number 23, Keith Smart. And introducing the head coaches for Auburn in his 11th year, Sonny Smith. And for Indiana in his 16th year, Bob Knight.
The winning team will advance to the Midwest Regional next Thursday night in Cincinnati. We'll be right back. Auburn to the Southeastern against Indiana, the Big Ten. Billy Packer, what kind of a game in terms of style will we see?
Well, Brent, I think the coaches really pointed out at the top of the game. You've got Indiana wanting to play half court at a time. You've got Auburn wanting to spread this thing all over the floor to try to open things up for their great inside rebounding. Let's see which coach gets the advantage early.
Sonny Smith saying we want it wild in the streets if we can get it that way. We want no part of Indiana's half-court defense. Referee Wilco throws it up. Auburn controls. Indiana, the higher seed in this region, so they're wearing their home whites. Alford comes out on Gerald White, and Indiana goes to their familiar tough man-to-man defense.
Straight man-to-man. Matchups to watch. Alford out there.
Leaning in for the first shot, and it grinds up right in the hands of Mike Jones. Frank Ford missed. Jones got the rebound, and that's an advantage that Bob Knight hopes to dilute. The inside power game of the Tigers.
Straight. Playing a little zone. 1-2-2 zone by Auburn so far. Now, when you play Indiana zone, you got to think of one thing. Steve Alford getting outside that three-point range and looking for his bomb.
Zero on the left side with the ball. He was open there, didn't want to lean in. Instead, it'll be Keith Smart, has it knocked away, and the first foul of the game.
Brent, fouling could be a key factor in this game. Of course, when you play a zone like that, and it's a relatively passive zone, you don't pick up a lot of fouls. But Auburn's a club that likes to use everybody that's in that starting lineup over 30 minutes. Can't afford to get in foul trouble. That bench is very, very weak.
Ford's first personal foul for Coach Smith. Sonny Smith's Auburn Tigers always come alive. NCAA Tournament time. Got to the regional final last year. Now Smart left alone, went all the way for the shot.
Well, how often do you see people get in a trap, somebody splits the trap, and they forget about who's the most important man on the floor? That's the guy with the ball.
Crowd is quiet so far here in the Hoosier Dome. Moore. Pounded again, this time by Chris Morris, 34. That is 2 baskets off offensive rebounds.
There's that athletic quickness on the inside.
Get your hands off it, Johnny.
See that zone really not attacking.
Here comes the steal. White was attacking that time. Billy goes in for the easy layup, and Auburn has got what it wanted here, and that is a quick start.
Kind of a sloppy pass there because Auburn's zone really not that active. And now we've got a box and one.
Callaway gets into Thomas, turns and stepped out of bounds. It'll go over to Auburn. Tigers off to a good start. Knight is going to come up.
He feels that crowd's not in that ball game either. Now you see Sonny Smith showing junk defense right off the bat. He shows his zone, then he went box and one.
So far it is a neutral crowd, if you will. Morris missing, and this time Garrett gets inside. Not going to give up a third basket off an offensive rebound. Smart quickly pressures for Indiana. Misses with his jump shot from the left baseline. Ford coming down on the pull-up, swatted by Garrett, and it's Callaway for the Hoosiers. Here's Alford.
That's his 81st block in a year. He's got some athletic ability, too, to go up against Auburn.
Callaway on the penetration, and he traveled first before the contact. The officials worked well together, one of them thinking there might have been a foul. He held up.
Here's that block by Garrett coming off as the second man, and he has given a dimension that Indiana hasn't had in quite some time, and it's that great athletic quickness in the middle.
Here is Gerald White from Augusta, Georgia, the point man. Alford starts out on him. Inside is Morris, and he puts it away. And how about this Auburn start here this afternoon?
Brent, one of the things that's kind of interesting, Bobby Knight does a lot of switching. Sonny Smith was kind of surprised that hasn't been Knight's style over the years, but Auburn so far setting some great screens down under the basket and getting some mismatches inside.
Auburn has taken 8 shots and Indiana only 2. There's the third one, and Garrett gets the roll that time. Make it an 8-4 game, 16:55 to go first half.
That was the box and one again. Defense spread out, giving Moore a lot of room to operate inside.
Into the right hand, and again almost an offensive putback, and it is Ford cleaning up inside. You can see this Auburn muscle. It's going to be tough rebounding. That's going to be a key stat for the Hoosiers here today.
But Garrett did a nice job altering that last shot. Here's the first three.
Rims in and out. Yanked away powerfully by Mike Jones. And it's White's three. Put it up. The first home run, and it's Auburn. And they run to an 11-4 lead on the General.
You know, Bobby Knight, I think, senses this crowd's not into this game yet. He's coming up on that floor real early.
Down away from the ball. It's going to go against Indiana.
Now, Bobby Knight wanted a turnover on that particular play against Jones. He didn't get it. He's coming right up off the floor. You know, Brent, it's very difficult to coach in a game on an elevated floor. You have a funny perspective of the game. You're looking at guys' ankles instead of being able to look out on the court. I think it's a tough place to work a game for a coach like Bobby Knight.
Billy, that foul away from the ball on Knight's center. Garrett, and putting that one down is Jeff Moore. He was left alone at the top of the circle. Auburn getting good shots, pressuring the glass. Sonny Smith is up on one knee. He realizes that he's got a great crack if he can keep this up. 13-4, Auburn leads Indiana. Callaway puts it down. Smooth shooting, Rick Callaway.
You notice against the box and one, Indiana hasn't tried to do anything special for Alford.
Again at the top of the circle, and it gets the roll. This is Jones.
Indiana looks like they're having a hard time catching their breath early. Looks like they're emotionally, you know, sometimes you lose that breath just because you're so emotionally psyched up. Auburn seems much more relaxed.
Dump into Garrett on the turnaround. Misfiring. Thomas with an offensive rebound. Hayes fouled inside, and he'll come up to the line for a pair.
Ford got caught on the sideline that time with Thomas. Thomas just having too much size for him to grab that rebound. Good box out.
Morris's first personal. 2 team fouls against Auburn and 1 against Knight and the Hoosiers. Working with his 2 backcourtmen on the sideline.
2 shots.
Thomas, second team All Big Ten. Good, solid performer. And I think this year with Garrett moving in the middle, it's really freed him up to have an outstanding season.
Billy, what do you think about the rebounding problem that seems to be looming in this game for the Hoosiers?
What I'm surprised at so far is the fact that they're getting rebounding because they're able to run their offense. You're getting a lot of great solid screens down inside, which opens them up for the good rebounding on missed shots.
You mentioned the athletic ability. We have seen it so far from this game. A 3, the second home run by Gerald White here in the first half. Auburn 18, Indiana 8. A 10-point lead, and the crowd's still quiet. Callaway pulls up for Knight and makes it an 8-point game.
Is there anybody in college basketball with the
break away? Knight will be furious on this. Rammed down in by Jeff Moore.
Bobby going after the refs, but he has nothing to complain about there. What you have is Auburn just in a full court game, just much quicker to the basket on this shot.
This might be a situation where Knight will take a technical here early to get this crowd and his team going. He's down by 10. Callaway's been the hot man so far. Yanked away by Moore.
The box and one has taken Alford out of the offense so far.
Beautiful. Morris.
Beautiful. Bobby's got to be thinking time. He's waiting for a TV timeout.
And that'll be coming at the next dead ball. That's why Knight is not calling a timeout. He has 4. We stop at 3 times a half. Traveling on the turnover, and Knight can't wait for the stoppage and the timeout. He's got it now. He will lecture the Hoosiers. It is 22-10. Auburn streaking. We want to show you some of the things a coach does. Ford breaks free here for Auburn. Can't get the layup. Moore powers over the top. Now quickly to Bob Knight, who is up. He's going to be screaming at the referees. He's got to start working them. Not only get his team back in the game, which he lectured over there on the sideline during the timeout. He wants this crowd to come alive here. He is down 22-10. He has 14 minutes to go in the first half. Offensive rebounds. Auburn with 5 and Indiana with only 1 so far in the early going.
Terrence Howard in the ball game. Interesting switch for Sonny Smith early. Good screen inside again.
And it was Moore down low.
Brent, I'm amazed at how well Auburn is running their patterns against Indiana. They're just good, solid screens, getting a lot of people open down low.
I think Knight's going to have to go big with this lineup pretty soon, Billy. I think he's got a real mismatch problem. Swatted away. Goaltending. Moore. Garrett gets credit for the field goal here.
Steve Isle coming in and Thomas coming out. Now, the reason Thomas is coming out, Bobby can't believe it either. Why in the world is Auburn getting solid screens inside of this club and getting so wide open down low? Here's a 1-4 offense, running a lot of different sets.
Howard, who just checked in, was the ball handler. Boy, Moore feels it now. He put up a bad shot on the turnaround, though. Didn't look smooth on that when he pulled the trigger, did he?
Let's see if they stay in a box. Now they're in a triangle in 2.
Alford 0 for 1 in the game.
They've played 3 different defenses so far. Now they're in a triangle in 2. 2 guys playing man-to-man, 3 zone.
And Garrett will shoot a pair. And he and Moore now stepping in as Howard and a referee.
Gonna see some pushing inside. Moore still running his mouth. Not a smart thing to do. Smart move by Sonny.
Here is the foul.
He went down on him hard.
Now watch how Garrett reacts. Garrett moving up at the free throw line. We're going to show you Garrett's reaction because that's what touched it off. Missing his first free throw. Contact. And Garrett said, "In your face." And that's when Moore came back after him. Garrett is 1 of 2. It is a 24-13 Auburn lead. 13 minutes to go.
Fred, I think that was a smart move to take Moore out of the game right there. Get his mind settled down. You can't afford to lose him early.
White missing the three-point shot. And the foul is on Howard inside. It'll go to the Hoosiers against Smith's Auburn Tigers. Along with Billy Packer, I'm Brett Musburger. We're live at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. A crowd in excess of 30,000 here this afternoon, and they have watched Auburn jump to an early lead, 24-13.
Thomas back in the ball game, and you can tell Bobby Knight wanted to go, obviously, with his best ball club out there. He just chewed Thomas out a little bit for those defensive maneuvers.
Here's Alford trying to get in the scoreboard.
Now they're back to the box and 1.
Pounding Alford. Forces one, won't go. Offensively, it is Smart again. Boy, can he jump. Inside. It's Auburn. And against the Hoosiers, the crowd doesn't like this call. Knight is up again.
Now what you've got, Brent, is I think that all of a sudden Indiana has come to life. Now they're starting to really crash those boards.
It's also getting very physical out there, isn't it, Bill? The turnaround, it is Garrett.
Easy to get the ball in that 2-3 zone, right down in low. Garrett recognizes and turns.
Here comes the crowd. Morris on a leaner jumping in. And Thomas comes out with a rebound and an elbow, and he is fouled.
In the last 30 seconds, Brent, we have seen a different Indiana ball club. All of a sudden, they are now emotionally into this game. They started out very, very slow.
Now, 2 plays ago, you may have noticed Alford's reaction here when he banged into Terrence Howard. Howard hounding him back down by the baseline. I think the little incident between Garrett and Moore may have turned him on, Billy. Thomas. And certainly the lecture he received from the coach didn't hurt either. Now it's 24-17, and the crowd climbs into it.
Indiana stays in the man-to-man.
Jones up over the defense for 2. That's 6 here in the first half from Mike Jones of Columbus, Georgia.
Now let's check this D out there. Back to the triangle in 2. You've got Gerald White on Callaway and Howard on Alford.
Callaway moving without the ball, and Auburn battling through those screens that Indiana likes to throw over here on the wings. It'll be Thomas again. Moore's rebound.
Nice.
Baseline was cut off well, and so the three by White is not there. And the foul goes against Auburn. That is 2-3 make it on Ford. Make that 3 personals on Frank Ford.
And they've all come up on rebounding situations. Auburn in real trouble foul-wise.
They are already over the limit. Indiana shooting the 1-1. And Johnny Lynn comes off the Auburn bench. He's the 6'2 junior guard from Hendersonville, Tennessee.
What makes it tough now for Sonny Allen is his team is really small out there in the court, Brent. They're playing what amount to 3 very small guards. Indiana ought to really be able to pound them inside now.
So being over the limit allows Knight to cash in a couple of free throws, and it's down to 7. 11 minutes to go, first half. Lynn and Howard in the backcourt. Moore wants it.
You're not going to beat Indiana there. And another quick reach-in call.
That's on White, his first.
There's no question it was a foul, Brent, but the point being, and look at the team fouls a little different there, and they have been legitimate calls. The point is that you have no business fouling a man in the backcourt when he's got a ball in 2 hands like that. No chance for a steal.
And the difference in the team fouls about to show up on the scoreboard.
Not only that, but Indiana, a great free throw shooting team, shooting over 76%. And this young man going to the line on his career is averaging 89% from the foul line.
You saw Jones sit down as John Kaler, the freshman, checking in for Auburn, and he missed the front end.
Well, he probably won't miss another one now. He's shooting 90%. Missed one out of every 10.
Auburn needs to get a field goal here. Indiana on a 9-2 run, and it is Moore. 6 points in the first half.
Brent, one of those wide bodies, tough to get close to him. Now the defense changes. 1-2-2 zone.
Galloway's missed, but he gets it back. Offensive rebound and a field. 8 points. That's to 7. The Tigers were up by 12.
Sonny Smith really has a problem now defensively with such a small team on that floor. Galloway's quick enough to guard a man in the guard position.
Galloway rebounding Moore's miss. That's his 5th rebound here in the first half. Alford. His first field goal.
The 1-2-2 zone found Kaler in a position where he was trying to protect inside, but you've got Alford out there with that great jump shot so he can really split his zone.
Howard short, Indiana's ball.
Not a real fast-breaking club. They like to play the half-court game.
Foul difficulty, but he traveled on the turnover, goes to Auburn. The foul difficulty has allowed the Hoosiers to come back in this. At the 9:19 mark, we've got a timeout. We'll be right back. Earlier this year, I asked Bob Knight if he could win the national title. He said he didn't think so. Yesterday, I asked him what he thought now at tournament time.
If we could beat Auburn, that's an indication to me that we could play with about anybody. Now, we've had some indications, Brent, during the course of the year that we could play on given days with anybody, but it's not a team that I look at and say, hey, every night we're going to go out, we're really going to be tough to beat, because we're just not quite good enough defensively.
Billy, he got tough in this game. After down by 12 points, they have been attacking the glass with some enthusiasm.
Yeah, they start out this game, and it really surprised me because normally they come out of the box pretty quick, but they started that game. Now you can see they're actually leading and rebounding 14-10. Very unusual to see Indiana come out that way. Now they're back in the zone, 2-3.
How strange it is to see for a Knight coach team drop into a zone defense, but he'll change it up from time to time. And against his own, Jones burns it with a field goal. 8 points in the first half for Mike Jones.
Pretty nice screen by Lynn. Sonny Smith really having to go to a bench that he didn't count on in this ball game.
Garrett. 9 for Garrett. It's a 5-point lead by Auburn of the Southeastern Conference over Indiana.
Bobby showed him a zone one time down the court and goes back to man-to-man.
Here's Moore. He has not been bashful about taking his shot. That's 8 for the Auburn center.
Of course, Moore was around last year when he had the great Chuck Person, so his inside game was even more effective because he had that great range shooter. Offered open.
It's a 2. You mentioned Person. He's involved in this one, too. He spoke to each Auburn player individually over at the hotel before they came to the Hoosier Dome. He now plays for the Pacers here in Indianapolis.
There you saw an indication of how well Callaway can sit down defensively and play somebody.
White on a spinner. Smart on him, went to the floor with his first personal. So a game summation here of this, the opener of the Midwest Regional at Indianapolis this afternoon. Auburn breaking early, and Indiana starting to shoot well from the field. 18 fouls against Auburn would be the statistic that allowed the Hoosiers to close that lead. They were shooting the one-on-one early. Jones again left all alone at the line.
That one had Bobby Knight throw his eyes right up in the back of his head. He can't believe somebody, he's still staring up the ceiling, can't believe somebody could be that wide open. Now Auburn goes to a 1-3-1 zone.
3. Alford's first home run.
That's what's so tough about this club. If you play a zone against them, Alford stands outside. It's very difficult.
The crowd up for the first time. Hoosiers are closed to within 4. Jones fouled. And that's the second on Garrett.
Going to be a shooting foul this time. Jones stepping out. Garrett trying to play back inside, almost like a little one-man zone. And Bobby gets upset when fellas get that wide open a shot against any of his defenses. What are they? They're just going to talk for refereeing a little bit. Now they're going after each other, Alford and White. You don't see Steve Alford lose his cool very often.
Now Knight walking over to Sonny Smith. The two are having words at midcourt, and Knight is saying, "Get off my man."
Now, you know what's interesting?
And Sonny Smith doesn't back away. He went nose to nose with him.
Sonny, one of the most entertaining, calm guys in college basketball. Now, he came down, thought maybe Bobby was going to have a nice little conversation with him. When he saw it going in the other direction, you're right, Brent, he didn't back down a bit. Hey, he's been in some wars in the SEC. He's not going to take any Big Ten nonsense.
It has been a tough physical game. Jones hits the free throw. That's 11 points for Mike Jones. We'll show you what precipitated that outburst when we get a stoppage in play. It's 36-30.
And it's back to the box in 1. That's going to, yes, sir.
Pushing off. Auburn and Thomas down inside. It goes against Alford. This was the incident. Alford walking through the huddle to have words with a player. Howard objecting, restrained by the referee. Now Knight is standing up on the sideline, and Jones is red hot. It's 14 points for Jones. He's burning the nets down here.
Brent, it's not often that a man can step out and shoot at that range, and Garrett usually hangs inside.
Smart goes underhanded.
Right through the box. Here are those inside screens.
Stolen by Thomas. Another player goes crashing to the floor. Alford bangs in a three-pointer.
That's a legal solid screen, Brent, because the screener was still Giving that man a lot more than one step.
The whistle had blown. Crashing to the floor as the result of still more contact here this afternoon. And the ball will be turned over. Here is the collision underneath as Callaway was clearing out.
Brent, I don't believe that call was correct at all. Now, if you are being screened, you have no right to just run right through the man. You can see Alford ran right through. Callaway used his upper arm to shield off. And Sonny Smith really has a legitimate gripe there. You see Terrence Howard going to sitting on the bench. He's just trying to get his breath back. He took some shot on that last solid screen. Watch this shot. Legitimate screen. You cannot run right through the man, so there was no foul there whatsoever. It was a legitimate play. You know, you can have contact and it not be a foul, and that was a good case for it right there.
The crowd's alive. Jones is hit by Garrett. That's his third.
But that's the second time today Garrett had the good block, and if he had not come down with his wrist and slapped at the ball, he would have had the block. Instead, he came down with a hand and committed a foul. That hurts Bobby Knight's attack because he doesn't have that great athlete in the middle.
Steve Isle off Knight's bench.
So both teams hurt by foul problems here in the first half.
And despite the fact that Garrett has to sit down, there are only 5 team fouls against the Hoosiers. Knight's team has 1 to give before they get into the one-on-one.
Garrett's 233 rebounds puts him right behind Ray Tolbert as the number 2 rebounder that Indiana has had here in quite some time.
16 points for Jones.
Tolbert, as you remember, took him to the Final Four in '81. Back to the box and 1, chasing Steve Alford on that baseline.
Quick pass to Thomas. Chance for a three-pointer. Two fouls on Jeff Moore.
Brett, one of the things that's so tough to play junk defenses against Indiana is Steve Alford is patient, and Indiana has seen these type of defenses so often in his career that they adjust very well to get that ball inside.
We're tied at the 5:35 mark. Auburn and Indiana, 40 all.
Smart wanted that one. That's a walk.
And traveled.
Although Sonny Smith won the game running up and down the floor, right now he'd like to protect a little bit of this clock while he has 2 key starters out of there. You can see how offensively he's really got a problem. Now he's going to put Moore down, so he really is small, and he's only got 1 starter on the floor, Gerald White. Oh, excuse me, Jones is still out there.
Auburn clears. Howard gets his own miss. Can't get it to fall. And the foul is going to go against Isle, his first. It could have gone against either Alford or Isle. Alford has turned the Hoosiers around offensively. He has scored 12 of their last 17 points as they climb back into this game here in the first half.
And the man out of bounds. We've seen Western Kentucky yesterday scoring an out-of-bounds play to win it all.
Lid is short. Howard. He's gone strong to the glass
quick,
here for a guard. Next dead ball will give these coaches a TV timeout. We're inside of the 4:45 mark. Jones is up over Isle. Callaway. This place will erupt when the Hoosiers take the lead. Smith barks instructions, trying to get his Tigers back to a tie.
They really got out of their offense. You can see they don't have enough weapons out there to score.
Jones. Thomas was fouled underneath. And remember, the Hoosiers have been shooting 1-on-1 for a long time. 2 on Kaler.
And Indiana only has 16 fouls so far this half.
Kaler for Auburn draws the foul, his second.
How many teams you see now, Brent, go to that little huddle, all 5 men talking about their defensive count, and a lot of coaches use those mini timeouts where they can pull 2 men, sometimes even 5 men over to the sidelines to talk to them.
Hoosiers have been shooting the 1-on-1 since the 11-minute mark here in the first half.
And as I pointed out, 76% free throw shooting team, something you really like come tournament time. You got a club that can make those free throws. Jones about the only threat on the inside here. And he's been taking jumpers from the outside.
Howard off a good fake inside. Callaway was short. Lead to Callaway, who bobbled it. Smith wanted traveling. Not looking at the ball, it goes out of bounds. So we've got a timeout. Indiana leading Auburn 43-40. We'll be right back. Billy, let's take a look at Alford.
Well, Auburn's playing the box and one. Now watch Steve Alford over in the right-hand corner, constantly on the move. He very seldom handles the ball with the dribble. Now here he comes, and here comes the man chasing him. But what happens, Jones realizes he's unguarded out there. He steps outside of his area in the box and one. Thomas, realizing there's a hole there, steps right in. That's why it's so tough to play the junk defenses against Steve Alford.
Billy, we certainly recognize the head official, Rick Wilkow. He was involved in our instant replay controversy down in Norman, Oklahoma, between the Sooners and UNLV. Chuck Weinkoff of Carmel, Indiana, and Rusty Herring of Durham, North Carolina are working with Wilkow, who lives in Boone, Iowa.
Now Callaway guarding Jones, doing a much better job stepping out on him than Garrett was doing, and that's why that pass is not available anymore to Jones. Auburn stays in the box and one. Keep an eye on Alford's movement.
Trying to get Isle. Ill-advised pass. Kaler was in the lane. Kaler gets it back. Shoves the bounce pass in, but Howard passes up the shot.
Sonny Allen wanted to use a little of the clock, realizing he's got most of his firepower on that bench. Sonny Smith, excuse me.
Jones maneuvering through the foul. He'll shoot a pair, and that's 2 on Isle.
Pretty good coaching job by Sonny over there, Brent. You figure all that firepower he had down early in the game, and when all of his starters are guys that play over 30 minutes, he really had to pull some straws here to stay in this one.
You know, against San Diego, Auburn was forced to the wall, and Jones scored 32 points in that game. He now has the Tigers' last 9 points in this one, 17 for the first half. So the 6'7" sophomore from Columbus, Georgia, he is the man they counted on to replace Chuck Person. He's not there yet, but he has a great future.
Well, this club has 2 Mr. Basketballs of Georgia, 1 from Florida.
And 1 from Alabama.
And 1 from Alabama, right?
Thomas. Indiana up by 3, 45-42. 2:15 to go, first half. Away from the ball.
There's another screen down inside. Another foul on Auburn. And they've got the small guys down in there, but they're the ones picking up all the fouls, doing the banging.
Coming up next on CBS, game 2 of our tripleheader, the Running Rebels against Kansas State, or Notre Dame taking on TCU, and we'll be back here with Duke versus Xavier. Most of you will see the running Rebels. Can they go all the way? We're going to find out. Sonny Smith is very vociferous about one official out here right now.
I don't blame him, Brent.
Most of his calls have been against Auburn, Billy?
It looked that way to me.
Indiana 47, Auburn 42.
Bobby's been very quiet on the bench of late. Auburn's still running their offense, but they don't have the athletes inside to score.
Now the officials conferring underneath, trying to get the story straight. They give the ball to Auburn.
Steve Auburn, I think it did hit his foot, but he didn't want to admit it. He just smiled on the way out.
Lynn penetrating.
Draws the charge.
So that's the first against Lynn.
Well, Lynn only has taken 81 shots all year, so you can see that Sonny Smith is down the line here. 14-6 in that shooting from the foul line. Indiana has big advantage there.
Harold Thomas at the line for Indiana.
Been kind of a crazy half, hasn't it, Brent? Auburn starting out with all that firepower. Indiana coming back solid now. I guess Sonny Smith decided he's just going to have to keep him on the bench and try to save that foul problem, hoping he can get a full second half out of him.
Todd Meyer in for Indiana, Billy.
Well, Todd has been a starter over periods of his career. Good shooter, solid foundation, understands the game, knows Bobby Knight's concept, so don't expect him to make many mistakes.
It's been an impressive turnaround. Auburn led by 14 points. Now Indiana up by 7. We got a 21-point swing here in the first half. Score it for Jones. The foul on Isle is his third. Boy, what a first half Jones has had.
That shows you what a great player he is, too, because Isle is a solid defender.
The foul is called on Steve Isle, his third.
He's been in double figures 17 out of the last 18 games. So this is nothing strange.
With those 21 points, Auburn down by 4.
And they stay in a box and one.
Off Isle.
Nice hustle.
Got the ball for the Tigers. Gerald White on the pull-up. Can't get it to fall. Isle hustles back for the defensive rebound, and Isle is down. He's hit the back of the head. He's injured. Smart brings it back up. Isle to my right is still down on the floor.
Officials timeout.
Billy took a shot. White pulls up, takes the jumper. Isle going after it, does a good job.
He was hit before.
Yeah, I really didn't see that, Brent, on that
Didn't
particular
come late.
play.
It came early, but he hung with it. And Knight pointing out to one of the officials where his man was hammered. Let's take you back to the start of this game. Do you remember that one scene we showed you off a missed jam, and Knight got up and started working over the officials? Remember that moment in the game? That was Knight going to work on the officials. And since then, things have gone pretty much in his favor in this game as far as fouls are concerned.
Now Sonny Smith has Derek Dennison in the game, Brent, and he's going to pick up Steve Alford a little in the man situation in this box and one. So that's 3 different guys have chased Alford in this first half.
Also, Trey Smith will try it on that sprained ankle. He's number 42, just gave it up. That victory over Fairfield. He will be seeing if he can turn in some minutes here. Callaway's jumping for 2. That's 10 points for Rick Callaway out of Cincinnati.
Callaway really taking advantage of the box and one. He goes and gets himself a solid screen. Excellent player.
Jones again, it's like a one-man offensive show. He didn't get the roll that time. He's the only Auburn player to score in the last 7 minutes. Almost had that one down.
You know,
as he went to the glass, it was called against him.
You know which way they're walking. That was a good steal on the inside. Lynn just hanging around back there was able to pick it off. That's the second layup that he's missed so far.
Billy, everything underneath down here is going against Auburn. They're just simply not getting a call down there. I can't believe that everything is that one-sided.
Look at that stat sheet.
Entering the Indiana lineup, number 44,
We've got 14 fouls against Auburn here in the first half. We have 8 against Indiana. Hillman has checked in. More importantly, Indiana was shooting the bonus at the 11-minute mark here. It is 53-45 in the 3.
That was really not a good shot, but a big one.
It's good if it goes.
You better believe it. They were looking inside. Big shot by Gerald White.
Knight was down by 14. You're going to the locker room up by 5. That's the score. It's Indiana 53, Auburn 48. Jim Nantz and James Brown are standing by in our New York studio right after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. Unisys, the combined power of Sperry and Burroughs. Unisys, the power of 2. And by Pontiac, America's road car company. Pontiac, we build excitement. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. New York Light, to help you get the most out of life. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light.
We'll start the second half with Indiana leading Auburn 53-48. And here are some of the numbers from the first half. At the free throw line, there was a big edge for Indiana. 15 of 18. Auburn shot only 7 free throws in that half. Rebounding, Auburn started out strong, and then the Hoosiers came on and wound up with a 21-15 edge. Now look at the field goal shooting. Auburn 43% for the field. Indiana 67. Billy, we got a couple things to talk about. Number one, what about the gamble by Coach Sonny Smith of Auburn over there to keep 3 of his starters, one with 3 and the other with 2 fouls apiece, on the bench for the bulk of the first half? That's a huge gamble for the coach.
It really was, and I would imagine that Sonny, if he looked up at that scoreboard right now with 5 points down, would have to be happy. He only got 17 minutes of playing time out of 2 of his starters, and that is something that if you'd have told me before the game, I figure he'd been blown out by now. It's very difficult for him if he doesn't have all 5 men on the floor.
Billy, you noticed yesterday these are not breakaway rims, so we asked the 2 coaches, Bob Knight, what about the rims and some of the hard rebounds we get here? How hard are they?
Well, these rims are like pouring 2 pounds of salt into a 1-pound sack. I mean, it's a really hard, tight rim set into the backboard. They're not breakaway rims, and they're about as hard a rim as I've ever seen.
I do feel that there is some problems with that because we play with the breakaway rims and we so-called basket sucking type deals, you know, where they suck the ball into the basket. I felt like these rims were very tight. We had layups going in and out last night. I would agree with that 100%.
Well, you know, we're looking at something that the rim is actually 5/8 in diameter. It's 18 inches diameter where the ball goes through there. But there's a lot of difference between that soft rim and a hard rim. And as you can see, that's not a breakaway, which is very surprising in regard to guys that are going up there and dunking all the time. So the player's really not used to it.
Well, after the first round of the NCAA tournament, the Big East still unbeaten. Mr. Packer 5-0, and down at the bottom, the ACC 2-4 with North Carolina and Duke left.
Yes, and Brent, I think that in addition to teams going for the national championship, there's an awful lot of conference pride that takes place in the NCAA tournament. A lot of bragging rights there, so Dave Gavitt in the Big East and Wayne Duke, who happens to be here today in the Big Ten, have to be very proud right now.
Another thing I want to point out is that all that ranting and raving that some folks do about the home court advantage and it shouldn't be allowed in the first round, again, it didn't hold true. We had UAB knocked off down in Birmingham. Arizona didn't make it out in Tucson. Syracuse had to struggle at home, and of course last year they were picked off in the Carrier Dome by Navy. I think if you get neutral officiating.
Are you animated?
No. If you get neutral officiating, it will help offset the home crowd advantage. Sometimes you don't always get that during the conference season. They can be influenced too, these folks.
You know, another thing about that home court, Brennan, I know every coach in America would rather play at home than away, but during tournament time, sometimes it puts a lot of pressure on that home team. Everybody expecting them to win.
Yes, they did.
53-48. Indiana.
Same starting lineup coming back out here.
So the starters back on the floor for Sonny Smith's Auburn Tigers. The three from Alford is short. Thomas with an offensive rebound.
Did he call that a charge? We get a little principle of verticality on that call.
It was interesting that Bob Knight came out and made a point of shaking hands with Sonny Smith before this half started.
Called that a walk on the inside, Brent, before he went up for the shot. Straight man-to-man again by Indiana.
Knocked away from Ford by Garrett. Here comes Smart on the move for the Hoosiers. Alford's pull-up. Rebound White.
You don't see Steve Alford missing many of those.
Knocked away from Moore and out of bounds.
Sonny Smith saying, how about a foul in the inside? Again, Indiana, man-to-man out of bounds.
No, you hit it.
Remember that out-of-bounds play, Kentucky-Oklahoma, Brent, just a little screen away.
Ford chips it on over. And a foul going against Alford underneath.
You notice how easy it seems to be to get that ball down inside to Moore. Garrett playing right behind him. Garrett's got to be careful about fouls also. I thought that was very important when he went out of the ball game. He's got 3 on him. Very important to Indiana to have him on the floor.
Jeff Moore with 2 shots for Auburn.
You notice how Knight has these fans trained? They're not up behind the glass waving their hands here at the Hoosier Dome.
You know, the perspective here is tough, too. Anytime you play in these big arenas like this, that background is so far away as opposed to a normal court. Let's check out this defense. They're back to the triangle and 2. Callaway and Alford being guarded man-to-man.
They're short. Jones rebounding. Short on the pass. Callaway got the turnover.
Down 3, not a smart play, trying to go for the home run.
Thomas throws it up. Traveling is the call. That's 13 turnovers by the Hoosiers.
Traveling Indiana.
Chris Morris hadn't been able to get started offensively, Brent. I think those fouls put him in a position where he can't get into the flow of the game. See if Auburn tries to go to him.
He's handling the ball right now. Gives it up to White. And Moore, center will move his shot out. Callaway rebound. Smart to pull it up. Score the basket. But it's going to go against Indiana.
That's a
Big
tough foul.
foul on Garrett.
Tough foul. Bobby Knight really knows he needs his athletic ability in that middle.
They'll take him out and come with Todd Meyer.
Todd Meyer. 2 team fouls
Garrett made second team, newcomer of the year in the Big Ten this year, second team all-conference performer.
And it's something we talk about, the fouls and the free throws going one way, and yet the biggest foul of the game goes against Indiana. Morris underneath, can't hit the layup, yanked away by Thomas. That's the way it is. I guess the breaks somehow even up. Doesn't seem that way, though, especially if you're a coach. Offers three on the money.
Well, that's a good job by Smart to force that defense all the way back to the basket, and Alford picks up.
White on the penetration, got the layup. Chance for the three-pointer. That's the first on Meyer.
Meyer trying to get over in time. Good penetration by White. That last play is so great when you've got a guy that can come out on a delayed break like Alford can and sit back there in a three-point range. Just be patient, get the good dish inside, and then throw it back out.
Gerald White with the basket at the line on the foul.
White really has had physical problems this year. Back injury kept him out of all preseason activity. He's the guy they need. He's the glue to this ball club.
Indiana holding a 5-point lead. If you joined us late, they were down by 14 in the early minutes of this game. Smart.
Smart kind of up and down ball player. We saw him have a great game against Ohio State.
Jones back inside. Offensive rebound. Morris won't stay. And Meyer backing into Jeff Moore, and it's going to go against Moore, who reached up.
Boy, Morris having a rough day inside. It's 2 times down the floor. He hadn't been able to get an easy shot up. Pretty good blocking out by Todd Meyer.
First team foul on the Auburn Tigers.
Okay, now here you go. Back to a different defense. The left open. Brent, you wonder how any defense could be conceived to leave that fellow open.
Sonny Smith takes a timeout. The last time Indiana won the national title, Landon Turner was Bob Knight's center, and he probably is the reason why he's still coaching. Turner was involved in an automobile accident and paralyzed. He was in the huddle during that timeout. It was during that summer that Knight considered leaving. Field goal put in by Jones of Auburn, but because Turner wound up in a wheelchair, Knight felt an obligation to the rest of the players to come back, and he has continued ever since as the Hoosier coach. As a matter of fact, he probably would have worked for CBS television as a basketball analyst. That was the job offer he was considering at the time. He remains very close to the Turner family.
Brett, they go 1-3-1 zone now.
Indiana comes away with it.
Good job by Darryl Thomas to keep it alive. Getting away from their offense now. Good job by pressuring Indiana. Now you got to look for Alford for a 3.
Thomas traveled.
Boy, he had a perfect situation here to pop it back out to Steve Alford. A double teamed. Steve was set, ready for that rocker motion on that jumper of his, and he never got the ball back.
3 team fouls against the Hoosiers and 1 against Auburn here at the 15:50 mark. Jones, short again. Offensive rebound, Morris.
That's the first one Morris has had to get the fall for him here in his second half, although he's had 2 others. He was right inside. Alford's going to recognize this defense, Brent, and get outside for the 3-pointer against this 1-3-1.
Smart's got him.
There he is. Countering it.
Just like you predicted.
He can smell those type of zones, and he knows where the holes are. Son of a coach, plus being well coached in the college level. Good hands.
Indiana with a loose ball.
Sonny Smith may have to go ahead and call a timeout to change this momentum a little bit. Indiana on a nice roll here. They stay in the 1-3-1 zone. Alford wants him to swing it.
The three from Smart. Long rebound. White, right side for the layup, and tapped up and in by Moore.
White wanting a foul on the inside. Looks back at that ref, gets no call. They change their defense again. They go back to the triangle and 2. Steve Alford is so patient, isn't he?
He sure is.
He's a clinic.
There's Callaway. Rick Callaway. 14 this afternoon.
That defense is designed to stop Callaway and Alford. They're the 2 scoring against it.
Smith cannot trade baskets with the Hoosiers. His defense will have to trigger some kind of a run, or Auburn will not get back in this. Jones, who has been off the money here in the second half. Jones will have to get some of his teammates involved. Thomas. He'll get the roll.
It's time for a timeout for Auburn.
72-59, all Indiana.
Indiana on a real roll here.
Jones again, and this time he's got it on the turnaround.
Nobody back.
Smart couldn't hit it. White couldn't get it to roll. Callaway out to Alford. Thomas on the right. Alford pulls up.
Bet they're waiting a long time to call a timeout to change this momentum. And
He'll take it now. Indiana showing you why they are the top-seeded team in the Midwest region. We'll be right back. Billy, Steve Alford does so many things well.
well, here's one of the things that a lot of young players ought to keep an eye on. He's going to take the ball down on a semi-break. He does not try to penetrate all the way, but pulls up at that foul line. He gave a little ball fake and head fake, looking like he was going to Thomas, which really sealed the defense to the point that they were mesmerized, and he pulled up and took that jump shot. Really a key play for that guy, if he can't penetrate all the way, to pull up at that foul line.
Billy, he has scored 25.
About as quiet at 25 as you'll ever see. And he hasn't had to go to the three-point shot that much, although every one he put up there, it seems like he's made.
The Indiana defense has held Auburn to 5 of 15 with that poor shooting statistic that you just saw on the screen.
Auburn has really not gotten in the flow of their offense here in the second half. It looks like they're in the pattern a little bit better now.
Moore.
He's got a little bit of that Charles Barkley big body, so that when he does that spin on you, he picks up a couple of feet. Triangle and 2. You can hear the players screaming out what the defense is. That means 3 fellas playing zone, 2 chasing their men man-to-man.
Thomas. Lynn comes out for the Tigers. The backcourt, and it's intercepted. Smart, who has dished out 10 assists, has played a strong floor game for Knight here this afternoon. Alford the 3.
Credit Meyer with a great screen on Steve Alford. You notice when he comes back to the ball, Brent, he's squared up to the basket, feet, shoulders, and everything, so he's ready to release that three-point shot.
More.
And speaking of the three-point shot, a little stat that's kind of interesting. Indiana is the only team in the NCAA field that's shooting over 50% from the three-point range as a team. Of course, a lot of that's credited to Alford,
who is 6 of 8 from that range in this game.
As I said before, I can't remember the ones he missed.
There was a whistle before Smart's shot. You can see Steve Isle checking back in for Knight, and now again contact, and Thomas and Moore reach back in.
Now, on this this particular play, Thomas pushed more from the backside to start all this off. It's kind of interesting, these two clubs will be going after each other. They haven't faced each other. It's not a conference situation.
Here is what happened down on the inside.
There was the push.
Moore was being pushed by Thomas. And Morris stepped in and had words with him, but Billy, you saw the push.
Yeah, the no question that Thomas pushed more from the backside. Getting a little ugly out there right now. Moore and Thomas fighting for every inch of ground.
Smart gets inside.
And Brent, there was a case where Moore was so interested in Thomas, he left his area of the zone, which allowed Smart to come right down inside. You can't let your mental game get away from you.
Jones, Thomas fouled him. Along with Billy Packer, I'm Brent Musburger here at the Hoosier Dome. We start our triple-header coverage. Round 2 of the NCAA Tournament on CBS. Indiana was down 24-10 in the first half. Now they have seized control as they did with a 43-24 burst the remainder of the first half. They have led ever since and really not been challenged. Billy, your overall assessment of the Indiana team?
Well, I think Indiana is one of the most solid teams in the country, and I've felt that throughout the course of this season. It is going to take an outstanding effort from a real good ball club to knock them off if anybody does. I mean, this is a championship caliber club.
Frank Ford has not scored this afternoon for Auburn, number 15. Thomas. Smart got it back. Loses it.
You know, Smart gives you that spark that you need. He does some individual things away from the offense that are spectacular.
First field goal, a home run. It's a 9-point Indiana lead. 79-70, 10 minutes to go.
They're back to the box and one now, chasing Alford around.
Steve's three, not this time. Jones rebounds. Auburn on a bit of a run. White's pass. Kicked and went out of bounds.
Brent, White went up in the air that time. We were talking about a point guard pulling up at that foul line and making the good play. He went up in the air, overcommitted himself, and really was fortunate there that the ball went out off an Indiana player's leg.
Moore sits down, and Morris checks back in. White's three. Run down by Howard. Inside to Ford. Oh, body control, staying with the ball that had been knocked free. Ford puts 5 on. Auburn closes to within 7, 79-72.
Well, that was a great defensive play by Alford, and Ford, I don't know how he kept his eyes on that ball.
Jones gambles and fails. Thomas burns him.
You know, when you think about it, you wonder, how is Auburn this close? They really haven't had big games out of 2 of their key starters. Got in a lot of foul trouble. They're hanging on.
Jones short on the 2. Smart and Howard collide. Terrence Howard's 4th foul. A summary of this Midwest regional activity would look like this. Indiana with 42 points out of its backcourt and shooting 64% from the field. Holding Auburn to 41% with Steve Alford leading the way.
Brent, team fouls for Auburn only 3. You remember the first half that Indiana was in, at this point, was already in the 1-and-1. Actually at the 11-minute mark.
Morris takes Alford to the floor on the cut.
Trying to get a screen. They have Morris on him now, putting a taller man on Alford, but Alford will move right around those screens. Morris comes over the shoulder, and he kicked Alford on the way down. really unnecessary. A little cheap shot there.
Offers 3.
Well, if you're
31 points.
If you're going to play against Indiana, you have to know that out-of-bounds play with the double screen is coming. Short.
Smart. 8 rebounds and 13 assists in that Indiana backcourt. Billy, you were right about him. You pointed him out at the top of the broadcast, and you said he would be a key athlete for Bob Knight and the Hoosiers.
Well, Bob Knight went the junior college route because he felt that's where he could pick up the kind of athlete that you need in the 80s to win national championships. Like this one right here.
Galloway can't get the roll. Jones out. 8 minutes to go. Moore.
Boy, he has good hands.
And reaching in was Smart, committing his second personal.
Right here. You know, Moore reminds me, he's not the player Charles Barkley was, but Moore reminds me a lot of him, the way he sits down in the low post and has those soft hands. I was reading about Barkley the other day, as a matter of fact, and with all his power inside, I never realized he cannot palm the ball. That's why you never see those one-handed slam dunks of his.
Morris. Isles rebound.
He always gets so high up above the basket so he can come down with the one hand, but more of the times than not, he uses the 2. Let's see the defense again. They have Morris playing against Auburn. He's giving him a lot of body, but he's not used to chasing a man around screens.
He'll have a tough time battling through all those screens.
It's kind of obvious. And he's saying, hey, slow down, Auburn.
It's like a minefield when you go out after Auburn. Thomas missing. Isle rebounding. Reset, Hoosiers.
And one of the things with these tight rims that we showed at halftime, Brent, is that you're going to get a lot of wide rebounds. He can't play him out there.
Morris can't handle him, and Alford knows it. That's his 4th personal foul.
Chris Morris.
You know what? Morris has got to stop reaching and figure that he's tall enough to prevent Alford from putting up the jumper. Plus, Alford very seldom forces a jump shot. So his job is just to stay in position, not worry about trying to make blocks. They go to half-court trap. Nice.
Moore. That's his 4th.
Great head fake by Steve Alford on the side. Gets his man up, and then right off the dribble, whips that pass inside. Great play. It'd be interesting to chart how little Steve Alford has the ball in his hands. Talking about a guy that scored over 2,000 points in his career. #1 scorer in the history of Indiana basketball. Now, I guess, the #1 scorer in the history of the Big Ten, past Rick Mount today.
He's hit 7 3-pointers today out of his 10 attempts. Overall, 10 of 15 from the floor.
You know, he looks like a choir boy, but is a lot tougher kid than his looks show you.
He didn't back away when he got a little heated out there earlier. You know, you see scouting reports on Steve Alford. One I saw from Marty Blake, I had to laugh. Said, well, he's a great offensive player as Auburn ships it inside the court. He said, Alford's a great offensive player, but I'd like to see him guard Michael Jordan. Well, Marty, I'd like to see anybody guard Michael Jordan. What are we talking about here?
Well, did you say guard him or stop him? Nice.
Morris.
Oh, now how about this call? That's got to bring Bobby Knight up. I can't believe that call either, Mr. Knight. I mean, that was a no-call play.
Smart is 3rd.
It's a no-call here. Smart's under the basket. Play's over.
Chris Ford for Auburn.
Moore and Morris leaping in, so Auburn with 2 attempts to reduce Indiana's lead, and both times they failed.
Did Sonny Smith give that ref a little tap on the backside there going by? They're trapping half court now, and you know who this means going to be open on the weak side if they can get him the ball.
Thomas That's 20 points for Darryl Thomas.
Very difficult, the half-court trap an Indiana team. They work on the delay game so much that they spread you out. Very patient.
Ford. Sonny Smith.
Timeout. Auburn.
Takes a timeout here at the 5:52 mark. It's a 10-point lead. Auburn's still in it. Now, along with Billy Packer, I'm Brent Musburger. We hope you're enjoying this one as we start our triple-header coverage. Indiana leading Auburn here in the Midwest region. 5:52 to go, and the General with 4 timeouts remaining, and Coach Smith of Auburn is down to 1. Billy, what about the Tigers? Can they make one last burst?
Well, there's a lot of time, Brent. We've got the clock, as you know, in college basketball. I don't think you have to make that last-ditch effort to figure that you've got to make it all at once. With a 3-point play, down 10, there's a lot of time to come back. I think what they've got to do is become more solid defensively, because if they spread out and chase Indiana, one of the best in the country at being able to spread you on the half-court basis, pull their offense up above the foul line, and go for those nice plays like they did last time into Thomas.
So Howard and Moore with the 4 fouls for Auburn, and Garrett, who has been over on the Indiana bench since picking up his 4th, not on the floor. Smart. Great jumping ability on the penetration.
And that's a dimension that Indiana did not have before he arrived. An explosive athlete that could just take it down inside against other athletes.
We forget some of these other athletes when we praise Alford all the time. It's a good Indiana team. Jones. Moore
Great tap.
tapped it in.
He's got the soft hands, doesn't he? And here you have a little zone press. Trapping into corners.
Galloway gets it to Isle. Smart lost it coming out. And a foul is called on Morris. That's his 5th foul. I thought he might have traveled.
Foul number 5.
Callaway tried to split the trap, and he wants him to get that ball, get rid of that ball before he gets caught in that trap. This really hurts with Morris going out because he had the size.
Number 10,
Terrence Howard comes in. He's only 6'1". He'll play with 4 fouls. Now at the free throw line, Keith Smart is 6'1", the JC transfer, a junior at Indiana. He's out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Wouldn't he love to play in a Final Four game down in New Orleans?
Morris, a 13.5 point per game score, did not have much of a day today.
There's more.
Mound of sound in there again. He is caught.
Within 8 at the 4:45 mark.
What breaks their back right now is a 3-pointer by Alford.
Here it comes.
Didn't get it.
But Callaway runs it down.
But see, when you spread your defense out like that, Brent, it just allows Alford to get in position to shoot him. He might not have made that one. They're man-to-man now.
Thomas.
Sonny Allen. I always call him Sonny Allen. You know, that's the Nevada Reno coach that just got fired. Must be a Freudian slip on my mind.
Jones missing. Isle out for the Hoosiers, and here's Smart. Smart is looking for his 16th assist.
That was 3 seconds.
Thomas couldn't hit it.
Thinking about some 3-point shots from Auburn now, Brent. Time's getting down there, and if they're going to make a run at 10-point deficit, you've got to shoot some from out there.
Here's Ford.
But you got to make it short.
Thomas comes out. Indiana up by 10. Howard coming back.
He walked. Howard got the ball caught right in his shoulders. I mean, in his hips. Could not get rid of it.
2:53 left in regulation. Indiana leading Auburn by 10 points. That'll be game 2 of our tripleheader. Most of you will see the Shark, Jerry Tarkanian, and the Runnin' Rebels, and of course many here in the Midwest will watch the Fighting Irish. And we'll be back to cover the Duke Xavier game. Coach Pete Gillen doing a good job with that Xavier team. Open man is Callaway. 16 for Rick Callaway here this afternoon.
I believe Mr. Knight has his way into the regional, Brent.
Sonny Smith will use his last timeout. Back in a moment. Quinn Buckner, Bobby Wilkerson, and Isaiah Thomas shared the Indiana single-game record for assists with 14. That was broken here this afternoon by Keith Smart. Buckner, Wilkerson, Thomas all played on championship teams coached by Knight. Could Smart get there? Well, they are moving ever closer to that. What a game he has turned in here this afternoon, Billy.
He really has, and it didn't surprise me at all. I mean, I really think that he's the key.
2:32 left. We would like to welcome those of you along the Pacific Network who have just joined us. I'm Brent Musburger along with Billy Packer. We have 2:32 to go. Indiana leading Auburn 94-82. Indiana was down by 14 in the early moments of this game, but they seized control. They have been in command ever since. 94-82, Indiana in white. Steve Alford today has been red hot with 31 points. He's handling the ball for the Hoosiers, and they will try to bring the time down as Auburn, gambling on defense now, has spread the floor, and Alford has been picking them clean.
Now, what Bob Knight is saying to that referee is keep the hands off Alford, and he wants him on that foul line. He'll come out and get the ball. They'd like to have him on that foul line. They're not going to give it up. They're down to 10 seconds.
Callaway. Isle with a strong offensive rebound, and he traveled as he crashed to the floor. Make a good effort by Isle. And for those of you who just joined us, take a look at our game summary. 47 points from the backcourt. Alford and Smart. Indiana shot 60% from the field, held Auburn to 42%. 31 for Alford and Smart. A new Indiana single-game assist record here this afternoon. Team with a chance to go all the way. Jones hits a three-pointer for Auburn.
They've got to be thinking 3 points all the way. They go and follow Callaway right away. I was surprised they went inside the last time. Jones has had quite a ball game. You know what, Brent?
Billy, you would look back to the early moments of the second half. That's when this game was won by Indiana.
Yeah, they came out and played very solid in the second half. I thought they started very lethargically in this ball game, which really surprised me. The crowd was quiet, and Indiana did not come out with a lot of fire, but with a few fouls were called early there in the first half, got them to the line and really got them started. When Auburn had to go to that bench early, it cost him greatly.
Well, what do you give Knight for coaching his grade here this afternoon?
Well, I'm not
what would you want to give it?
No, I'm not into grading coaches at all, but I'll tell you one thing about the man. He has won 75% of the games he's coached in the Big Ten, and he is now the #3 guy, and by next year,
I won't tell
be
you to give him a B rather than an A.
No, I don't get into that. Guys that get this far deserve all A's.
You're being too nice.
No. Did you see Smart asking for 2 shots there, but obviously it was not. Player going for the ball.
Now there's a reminder of what we got coming up second. Jerry Tarkanian and the Runnin' Rebels up against Kansas State. Any of you will see that? How about Digger Phelps and Notre Dame? Can they handle TCU? Probably the best team out of the Southwest Conference. There's 17 points.
Sonny Smith took his team to a regional final last year before losing to eventual national champion Louisville. You know, the only coach at Auburn ever to take a team to the NCAA Tournament.
turnover. Here they come.
For Indiana, it's win the game. Don't try to do things spectacular.
Gonna put somebody on the line. Score the basket. Indiana will advance to the regional next Thursday night in Cincinnati, where Knight and the Hoosiers will take on the winner of the Duke Xavier game.
Well, that could possibly bring up a matchup between coach and pupil.
So I'm reminded that they will play Friday in Cincinnati.
You like to have those seniors come tournament time. Thomas, Alford. Then that nice blend of the junior college Smart coming in there. And Garrett.
3 by White.
Pointer, Gerald White.
This Auburn team looked very good today, and it shows you how good the SEC is. They came in 5th place in that league. Oh, beauty.
Traveling.
Into the Indiana lineup, number 24, Joe Hillman.
Alford will leave.
Steve Alford played here in another night before 67,000 when Bob Knight brought that Olympic team in here.
Underneath. Going against Auburn.
Foul on Frank Ford. That's his fifth.
So Frank Ford becomes the second Tiger to foul out. And Indiana will advance to the Friday night game in Cincinnati against the winner of the upcoming Duke Xavier game. For the Tigers, a long trip back home to Alabama.
He's Smart at the line for Indiana. Number 24, Derek Dennison in the Auburn lineup.
Brent, we saw this young man explode against Ohio State, and you knew he was a special player in regard to the great leaping ability and skills he has. It's an offensive, very solid player.
Number 10, Tony Freeman.
Smart leads.
That brought a smile to Bob Knight. Kid played a good game, great game.
When you have one guard with over 30, the other guard with a single game assist record for Indiana. Hillman, goaltending.
Fred, you know what's amazing to me about Smart and Garrett is the fact that Bob Knight runs a very complicated system, and to come in from junior college to be able to assimilate in that system so quickly is really amazing.
Swatted away, goaltending at this end. Ryan Sloan, 45, the son of former NBA star and coach Jerry Sloan.
He wanted to get into stats, but not on the other team's scorecard.
The Hoosiers will win this one. And Bob Knight moves a step closer to a third national championship. Was tough in the early moments. They were down by 14, Indiana was, 24-10. And then they outscored Auburn at 43-24. So coming up next, Jim Nance will set the table for the rest of the afternoon, and we'll be right back with the General in a moment.